And we are live. What's up, HasFit Tribe?
Hello.
Nice to see you today. Thank you for joining us in our January question and answer hangout live, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so if you're new here, give you the high level. So we like to start with a little bit of a life update, kind of what's going on in our lives, both HasFit as well as personal. And then we also usually start with questions that were asked ahead of time just to kind of get the ball rolling, but feel free to say hello or ask your questions in the chat at any time. Hi, Becca. Hi, Andy. Hi, Erica. Hi, Katie. Hi, Chrissy.
Everybody is in England right now. That's awesome.
You from the UK? Yeah, that's interesting.
Like 3 or 4 of them.
It's supposed to be a good time for the time frame for
your evening time.
For the time of the UK crowd. It's always hard determining a good time for these with the international audience.
Yeah.
Okay, so life update. Claudia, what's going on? Huh? What's new with you?
Well, nothing much. Every day is a carbon copy of the last when you have 2 young kids at home. But just getting used to the snow. Me personally, we live in a snowy climate now, so I can't go out as much. And
well, you can. It's just cold.
It's
and snowy.
different. But yeah.
So,
here in balmy Chicago.
Oh,
wow.
That's probably even colder.
Yeah, so stay warm over there.
So our son Judah, he just turned 12 weeks old, right?
Tuesday.
Yeah. So, you know.
And I'm still really cautious about going out with him.
Yeah, that makes sense.
In the cold, and you know, it's cold and flu season, so I tend to just kind of stay back and hang out in the house more.
And so from a HasFit business point of view, we've got a lot of new things in the queue, but probably the biggest one that we're just finishing up are all of the new app updates. So I was actually just testing the newest builds this morning, and they're looking good. I'm not finding any bugs, so we should expect to have new updates in the next week. And so that includes the ability to download for offline on both iOS and Android, and then
that's exciting. And
then ability to cast to Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, etc. So, and some other new features in there as well. But so that's what we've been working on, doubling down on. And right after this Q&A, well, we'll probably get some lunch, but then after that, we'll be shooting a low impact cardio workout. So
this will be my first shoot.
Back at it.
Back at it.
Post baby.
Yep.
So I've shot a couple of videos, but it'll be the first one for Claudia back at it. So,
yeah,
so that's exciting as well. Hi DHSF.
Erica in France.
Hi Butch. Hi Becca.
Actually, it's Rhea, Butch's wife.
Oh, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. Rhea, Butch's wife. I didn't read it. Okay. Okay, so we have some questions that were asked ahead of time. Maybe get started on those. I will get it started. Read the first one. From Mary.
Marianne.
I'm sorry, Marianne. My apologies, Marianne. If one were to begin following your Motive calendar and not alter their eating, relatively healthy diet, could they expect to lose any weight? Good question.
That is a good question. The only way that you can expect to lose any weight is if you're eating in a caloric deficit. So if you're taking in less food than your body can use or expend over a sustained period of time, then you will lose weight. So just exercising alone, while it's great for your health, brain, joints, body, you will not lose any fat unless you are eating at a deficit.
I mean, you can still eat too many calories if you say healthy diet. You can still eat all healthy foods, but still consume more than your maintenance level and be adding on weight. And so,
or not seeing any changes at all.
Yeah.
I mean,
so,
if you're just eating at maintenance.
And this isn't, you mentioned the Motive calendar. This isn't specific to just the Motive calendar. It doesn't matter what form of exercise you do, whether it's HasFit or something completely different. Exercise alone just isn't going to move the needle enough. You just can't outwork a bad diet, or can't outwork if you're consuming too many calories.
A calorie surplus.
Let's see. Next one is from Katie. You want to ask that?
Yes. Thank you, Coach and Claudia, for your motivation and leadership in this path to maintaining good health.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you. I'm just finishing up your Torch program and have completed the monthly Motive workouts several times. I am fairly athletic and in pretty good shape. What program would you recommend for me to do next?
Let's see, Katie. I would say it really depends on what your your goals are moving forward. If you've been the Torch program is more of like a hit focus program, and then the Motive is more of a balance. If you want to say you could kind of throw in a variation or a variety, and all of a sudden focus more on just strength training and follow either the Stronger 90 or the 30-day muscle building. Or if you want to just increase the intensity of like the same style that you're used to in Motive, then I'd recommend the Hero 90. So either the Hero 90 if you want to keep doing the mix, or if you want to mix it up and do some just strictly strength training, I recommend the Stronger 90 or the 30-day muscle building.
Yeah, that's good. Especially during the colder months. Well, depending on where you are. I don't know if you're in the Southern Hemisphere, it might be summer.
It might not be that cold.
But yeah, people tend to want to put on a little bit more muscle during the winter months. You're cold, you're eating a little bit more, you're staying inside. So it's a good time to maybe change up your training. But it's up to you.
So the next one is from, a different Katie. Or this is Kate. Kate, my apologies. Hi guys, I wanted to know some of your favorite snacks to eat throughout the day. What keeps you energized?
Well, I just had a protein shake.
So what's in my trash over here? See, we have a protein shake, 30 grams of protein whey. We got a wrapper of a protein bar.
20 grams of protein.
20 grams of protein on that one.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of banana peels. That's nice. And then let's see, what else do we do?
So I usually will combo like a protein shake with an apple, a protein shake and a banana, protein bar and a banana. I'm dairy free right now, so I'm not really eating any yogurt, but generally I love to eat Greek yogurts. What else?
Water. And not something you traditionally think about as like a snack, but you talk about staying energized. Water helps you so that you're not over consuming food, because a lot of times people think they're hungry, but really they're just thirsty or dehydrated. And then two, as far as energy is concerned, if you're not drinking water, so notice we both have, this follows me around, and I fill this up anywhere from 2 to 3 times a day. I'm drinking this. So again, that's another big source of energy as well. Maybe next one from Steve.
Okay. Trader Joe's has added its own TJ protein powder supplement offering soy and pea based at TJ prices. Why would anyone who has a balanced diet would need any protein supplements? And second, can you comment on soy and pea powder as opposed to your previous favorite whey-based protein?
So, go ahead. Give me an answer. Sound like you wanted to jump in there.
No, I mean, if you have a balanced diet, some people just naturally aren't big on eating protein, right? They just eat a low protein diet. So that's when supplements.
Or if you're vegetarian.
Correct.
It can be harder to get your protein allowance.
Correct. So that's when someone would need to have protein, which would be me, right? Sometimes I tend not to eat a lot of protein at breakfast or lunch or whatever. So then I'll supplement with a protein shake somewhere along the day.
And protein also helps you feel more full than other foods. It satiates you, if you will. So, another reason to add additional protein to your diet is if you're trying to eat at a caloric deficit, but you're hungry all the time. Well, the same amount of calories in protein versus the same amount of calories in carbohydrates, protein is going to make you feel fuller.
Yeah.
Also, protein is the best way to put on lean muscle.
It'll help you recover, especially when you're training.
Yeah. And so a lot of times when people say, "Oh, I have a balanced diet," unless you're actually counting your macronutrients, then it's hard to say like, okay, what one's definition of a balanced diet doesn't necessarily, from a macronutrient level, mean you're getting enough protein. So, if you're not actually counting and tracking those numbers, it's don't just assume, well, I think I eat a little bit of everything. That's not a balanced diet, unless you know exactly what your ratio is of carb, protein, and fat.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, then the other question is, the other thing to address is talking about the soy and pea.
So vegetarian, vegan sources, the reason why we prefer whey is because it provides all essential amino acids, which are the 9 essential amino acids that are found mostly in animal products. You can, and more vegan protein powders are adding leucine and things of that sort that help you recover from workouts. It's just not always the most complete source of protein.
And pea is one of the best.
Pea and rice.
Pea and rice are the two best vegetarian sources of protein. However, soy is the worst across the board. It is a low quality, low nutrient, and then when you see, like, the other thing is too, when you see like a product that has soy and then pea protein, there's a good chance it's like 90% soy and like 10% pea, if that. And people include it in stuff because it's the cheapest. So if you're a protein manufacturer, you can put that in there, and it's going to help you lower your product costs. So we just try to avoid products with soy as a whole. Let's see. Annette says, "Hi guys, hate to say it, but it's about 50 degrees here in Seattle. It's not too bad. Probably don't have any sun though." Narelle, hi coach. And Claudia, what's up, Narelle?
Oh, she's in the land of Oz, New Zealand, right?
Annette, how's it going for you guys now that the programs are behind a paywall? It's going well. I mean, the transition has gone well. I think most people, understand, one, that like we have bills, and that the more people using our products, that our costs go up. At the end of the day,
she says there is sun.
Oh, there is sun. At the end of the day, I think most people have seen the value in what we're putting out in the programs, and haven't had a problem, paying for what they're using. There's always going to be the small percentage that are unhappy about it, but the majority are totally okay and appreciate it. Also, if you're old, now we know seniors need more just to keep up. I'm guessing protein. Yeah,
that's very true.
Yeah, also true. This one's from Andy. Hi, Coach and Claudia. What's up, Andy? What's your opinion on zero carb / keto diets?
I think they're great if you enjoy eating that way.
Or terrible if you don't enjoy eating that way.
Correct. So it really just depends on. I'm never a fan of anybody trying to white knuckle their way to fat loss. Yes, you're going to see really rapid weight loss whenever you go zero carb, just because of all the water retention that you're going to lose.
But it's not necessarily fat loss.
Correct. So it kind of tricks you into thinking, oh, this is the best because I lose so much weight. But again, if you enjoy eating that way, then absolutely do it. If someone like me, I need bread in my life. I need to be able to enjoy pasta or French fries or potatoes, whatever it is. I would be horrible and I would be miserable.
Yeah. So what it all comes down to at the end of the day is whether it's keto, intermittent fasting, whatever it is, it doesn't matter when or how you take in those calories. If you take them all in the morning, you don't eat for 12 hours, or if all those calories are coming from, protein sources and you're eating nothing but steak, okay, it just really, all of these different trendy diets are just a way for you to get to a caloric deficit without having to count calories.
Yeah, so there's just different diet strategies, and you just have to be able to find the one that you like the best. So whatever there's always around the first of the year, oh, everybody at work, we're all doing keto together. Great. But if you hate keto and you're like,
you're miserable,
this doesn't work for me. And then when the challenge is over, you just go back to your regular way of eating, and then you just gain all your weight back. So just find something sustainable for you.
Sorry, Narelle. Land of Oz is
Australia.
Australia.
Why do I get those two always mixed up? Kiwi is New Zealand. I'm confused. Sorry, Narelle.
Erica, Coach and Claudia, can you address my question regarding breaking through plateaus? I'm sure it's on the list, Erica. We'll get to it shortly. I promise.
Yes.
That's already on the list. Okay, so next one is you. There it is.
From KT. Could you please explain the difference between squats and deadlifts? Some of the variations look very similar to me, e.g. sumo deadlifts. Looks a lot like a squat. I would like to get the form right. Thanks as always.
So Good question. When you're talking about the difference between squats and deadlifts using a barbell, the differences are very obvious. You know, where you're holding the bar, right? So a squat, okay, the bar is on your back or it's in front here, but it's up top. And then you're doing a deadlift, now all of a sudden it's in a hang position. So where it gets kind of complicated is when you try to emulate those really innately barbell moves with dumbbells. And so, you know, we're always, you know, you'll see in our videos, we're always taking more complex exercises and modifying them for home use so you can do them with just a pair of dumbbells. So a squat, for the most part, is going to be an exercise where your feet are shoulder width apart and you have the weight on your sides, because that's going to place the weight and the resistance in the same plane that it would be if the bar was on your back. Now, a deadlift is usually going to be where you're holding the weights in front. And so again, it's just what plane you're working on. So the plane tends to be a little bit different, and that change of plane determines whether or not the exercise is a more quad or a more hip dominant movement. So squats tend to work your quadriceps more. They also work your hamstrings and your glutes, but more so your quadriceps, where a deadlift tends to work your backside and hips more. So your hamstrings and glutes more, with your quads being a secondary muscle. So if you're just following the forms that we're explaining, you're okay. Don't overthink it. You know, a sumo deadlift, like you mentioned, is with a wide stance. And so again, that's more of a hip dominant exercise. It's just which muscle groups we're targeting more than the other.
Good answer.
Was it? Because I felt like hard to take complex things that you could write a book on and take them down to a 30-second answer. Okay. Let's see. Dorothea. Okay. Any contest planned? Well, we may have one. Let's ask Sam. Sam? So Sam has been helping us with our marketing. Say hi to Sam. You have to duck. It's up here. You have to duck.
Hey, guys.
Say hello. Sam has been awesome. He is a workhorse. He goes to school full time, and he's devoting his time to us. You would be shocked at the stuff I make this guy do. Like he's got to basically be an expert in everything, and every challenge I've given him, he has far exceeded my expectations. Okay. Anyway.
And those are high expectations. So.
Yeah, I'm pretty hard to please. Okay, so any contest plan, Sam?
Contest. Yes, we do actually have one coming up. February, we're going to do one where we're going to have you guys share the love. So obviously Valentine's Day is on February. It's the month of love. So we want you guys to share the love with your friends and family, meaning sharing the love that you guys have for HASFit. So you guys tagging your friends, family members on the Facebook page so that they can go to the Facebook page and check HASFit out. And the winner is actually going to get a 30-minute FaceTime call with these two right here. And I think we're going to do 5 of them, right?
Yeah, so we're going to 5 of them. So you tag your friends to enter, and then at the end of the month, we'll choose 5 people, and we'll set up a Skype or a video chat call for us to just talk one-on-one. So like we're doing here, but only like we'll see you too, right? So we'll see one another. Just like we're hanging out, have some coffee, have some water, or a protein shake, whatever. Okay, thank you very much, Shannon.
Awesome.
Later, guys.
Okay, so yes, that's our February contest. Let's see here. Let's do maybe one from Matthew.
Belated hi from the UK. Any recommendations for improving ankle plantar flexion? Most ankle stretch routines focus on dorsiflexion, but my weakness is moves that apply pressure to the top of the foot.
That's a hard one to necessarily give here. I'm going to, what's his name? I'm going to refer you to another YouTuber that does a lot of this stuff. He does really, I think he does a good job. His name is Kelly. His channel is Mobility WOD. So I would recommend you check out the Mobility WOD channel, and he'll have some more specific stuff for you. You know, we can't really dive into a lot of the, you know, we have too general of an audience. It doesn't really make sense for us to like get into like all these small niche mobility issues, but he does a good job of it. So I would recommend you to the Mobility WOD YouTube channel and search for his ankle mobility drills. Next one is from Erica. When doing squats, is there something women should do to protect their pelvic floor?
Yes, absolutely. So knowing how to breathe whenever you are exercising is very beneficial for or detrimental to a woman's pelvic floor. So on the squat, as you are lowering down, you want to take an inhale breath in, and as you're exerting and pushing through the squat, so as you come back up, you're going to exhale, and as you exhale, you're going to draw your pelvic floor into your body. So just think of having a string on the inside, and you're just going to draw up the pelvic floor as you exhale on the squat. And that's really for any type of exercise, whether it's a squat, whether it's a push-up, whether it's a pull-up. Just being able to regulate the intra-abdominal pressure can really help take off the pressure of your pelvic floor.
And so we have a couple of people saying, "Hi, Sam. Hi, Sam." Okay. Sam says hi. Next one is, let's do Mandy.
Mandy. I've read that there are a couple of different muscle types. One favors stamina, the other speed. If this is true, does that affect muscle definition? Love y'all and all the workouts. Thanks.
We love you too, Mandy. Thank you for your question.
That's a very technical question.
It is. I'll give it a high-level answer. Okay, so what you're referring to is slow versus fast twitch muscle fiber. And so everybody kind of has a different, well, one, different body parts are different in their distribution, and two, everybody's different. So some people, like, let's say, people that are Olympic sprinters might be like 80% fast twitch, 20% slow twitch, whereas somebody that's a let's say an NFL offensive lineman might be 80% slow twitch and 20% fast twitch. So the different muscle fibers really have different things that they're good at, if you will. So what tends to be the more attractive muscle fiber, if you will, is going to be the fast twitch. And so again, that's like probably the difference between an Olympic sprinter versus a marathon runner. A marathon runner might be, you know, super fit cardiovascularly, but usually they're not very muscular, and, you know, they can actually almost look like they don't even work out, even though they're an elite athlete. So fast twitch muscle fiber is going to be the more attractive, bigger muscle bellies, more definition. And really the only way, in most of our training, whether you're doing strength training or HIIT training, it's really targeting more so the fast twitch development. So
it's more athletic.
The more athletic fibers. The way to target the slow twitch is really just through like long-term endurance endurance work. So there's a lot more to it than that, but that kind of gives you a high level. Let's see, maybe this one.
Is a barbell going to?
From Emily.
Emily. Is a barbell going to be a better form of weightlifting than dumbbells? Should I be trying to get to a gym where I can use a barbell if I want to keep gaining muscle?
No, not necessarily. It's not like better or worse. It just depends on your goals.
So if her goal is to keep gaining muscle,
I mean, if you gain it, then no, there are plenty of ways to continue to gain muscle. I mean, one, you can just use heavier dumbbells. Also, your tempo. You know, most people won't really get to a strength level where they have to have a barbell. You know, if you feel like you want to add it as an additional, you know, whether at home or, I mean, you can also buy a barbell at home. You don't have to go to the gym to get a barbell. You know, if you feel like you want to get more into like weightlifting, well then yeah, you need to. But as far as just being healthy, being fit, having a good physique, being strong, no, it's not needed.
And just gaining muscle in general.
No, not something that you have to have. It's just another tool in the toolbox is what it really comes down to. Let's see, how about Erica Jones?
Oh, there you go.
Can you offer suggestions of how to break through plateaus when your diet is really good and you're already working out 4 to 5 times per week?
Okay, so plateaus are natural. That's a good thing. I like for you really just change your perspective. Plateaus are a good way to practice being at maintenance for the rest of your life, right? Because you're eventually going to get to your goal, and at that point, you're just going to have to maintain your goal. So I don't know how many calories you're eating. Let's say you are eating 1,200 calories, which is low, but let's just say you're eating 1,200 calories and then you hit a plateau. Take a diet break. And what I mean by that is just go back to eating calorie maintenance. So whether it's 1800 or 2000, take a diet break. It's good for you physically. It's good for you mentally, so you don't get burned out. But also your body is constantly looking for homeostasis, right? Which is why plateaus happen in the first place. So to break through them, I would suggest taking a break, maybe 6 to 8 weeks. And then once that's up, then go back to reducing your calories. Make sure that you're tracking appropriately. Do not add back in exercise calories. So if you're using a device like a Fitbit,
it tells you burn 400 calories.
Those,
don't eat an additional 400 calories on top of it.
The calorie expenditures on devices like that they're all over the place. They run the gamut. So they're not very trustworthy. So do not add back in calories burned during exercise, because that will mess you up. Because it's already figured out in your total daily energy expenditure. So breaking through plateaus.
And I would probably say one additional thing. I always get really scared, and this might not apply to you, Erica. So if it doesn't, then that's okay. We'll just say it for the room, which is when people say when your diet is already really good. So to me, sometimes when people phrase stuff like that, it kind of sends off red flags. It's like that tells me that, like, well, you might be eating healthy foods, but maybe you're not really tracking your calories. Maybe you don't really know how much you're consuming. You could easily just be eating at maintenance right now, and that's the reason why you think you've plateaued. Is like, all of a sudden you're eating at a maintenance level, but that maintenance level isn't where you want to be in your results. So that to me is just not that what Claudia is saying isn't also applicable, but that's more like, hey, I've been eating at a calorie deficit and I've been tracking and know where I'm at. But if you just say I've been eating really good, because like that to you, that just means I haven't been cheating and I've been eating healthy foods. Well, you could, if you're not tracking your calories and macronutrients, then you might still be overeating, just over consuming good foods.
And that's what I was going to say. You may be underreporting what it is that you're eating.
Or not reporting at all.
So just take an inventory. Maybe track, if you're not tracking, maybe track for a week or two and see where you're at. Make sure that you're going by the serving sizes, and just being really diligent in how you're tracking. What's another good way to break through a plateau? And check your.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
Probably next one. Next question.
Moving on. I could go on this forever.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Becca. Claudia, were you into fitness before you met Coach, or is that something you got into as your relationships progressed? And then KT says, I was wondering that too. And how did Claudia influence Coach's approach?
Okay, so what I was into when I met Coach Kozak was running, and that's pretty much it.
One of our first dates, we went on a run together.
Okay, that was not a run. That was a trail run uphill. Okay, doesn't count. I was a road runner.
Same thing.
No, I almost died. I was a road runner, so I did just a lot of at flat trails and, marathons and half marathons. I was into that kind of stuff. I did zero cross training, so I did no work, weightlifting, strength training, zero. And I was always perplexed as to why my weight was stagnant. And then when I met him and I started incorporating more, because we did work out together, I enjoyed it. Then that's when I really began to see a difference in my body recomposition. I really got muscular. My running improved. It just became a lot better after he came into the picture and actually taught me how to work out more efficiently.
And how did Claudia influence Coach's approach? That's a good question. I would say, okay, I got a good answer for that. So I think probably more so on the diet end, where, single. So a lot of times, and bachelor really just worked all day. My life or my diet basically was like 100% nutrition and like zero flavor.
Enjoyment.
And zero enjoyment. Because I just didn't take the time to learn to cook or whatever. So it was like, okay, here's a bag of frozen vegetables in the microwave, and let me just add that with like 2 cans of tuna, boom, like eat it out of a trough.
And some fat-free dressing.
Yeah,
of some
maybe
sort.
A calorie-free dressing. But now with Claudia, she does an amazing job of like still allowing us to like have like delicious gourmet food. She's an amazing cook. But at the same time, still eating, you know, foods that aren't like super calorie rich and foods that still align with our nutrition goals, you know, foods that are still high protein, etc. So I think that's probably one thing that's kind of changed. Not that I've learned how to do any of the cooking, but I've learned how to eat it all. So that's
well, because food is very social for me,
Yeah.
and I have to enjoy it. So that's
so. Next question from Becca: did either of y'all participate in sports, athletics in school? Claudia didn't at all. I did kind of, but not all in. Really, I got really into weightlifting and to exercise when I was 14. And so that was my sport of choice. Before that, and you know, middle school, and you know, played football and basketball and everything else.
But he did play semi-pro football.
But that was after high school.
After high school.
Yeah.
So late teens, early 20s.
Yeah. After high school. Okay, so let's
Where are
say let's do. I know. Let's skip here because that's in there. Annette. Annette asks, on your TDEE calculator, what would you put for me if I'm doing your Video Warrior 96 days a week?
So really and truly, it goes by your lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not your. It
It's
has nothing
not
to do with
taking
your
into
exercise.
account your exercise. So if you sit at a desk all day, but you still
Well,
do
and
Warrior 5 days a
I
week,
happen to know Annette is like a journalist reporter, so I'm guessing she's probably sitting a lot.
so if you are, then you're sedentary.
Yeah.
So think of it outside of exercise. What are you doing all the other 23 hours of the day when you're not working out? What?
No, I'm just reading the next comments coming up from Emily. I just laughed out loud at your first date memory. You guys are great. Becca, wow, coach, way to go, trying to kill your future wife early on. LOL. Yeah, so you know, had to see if we were compatible. You know, compatibly.
I think I put on a brave face,
Yeah, no, she beasted through it.
even though I was like, what the?
Well, she told me she was a runner, so you know, I mean,
Dude.
I wasn't even a runner.
Dude, there's a difference. Okay. Anyway,
We'll deal with this offline.
moving on.
Okay. Let's see. Next one. Let's go back to Jose here.
Jose. Hi.
Oh, that's me.
Oh.
Hi, Claudia and Coach K. What do you guys think about all the saturated versus unsaturated fats debate? I heard pretty bad things about the vegetable oils, polyunsaturated fats, and decided to switch to coconut oil and butter for cooking. What are your insights on this topic? Thanks. Try to keep this one short.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I know you could write a book.
Well, no, because I haven't really delved into fats and saturated fats in a while, just because I tend to eat low fat, but I choose the healthier fats. So I don't have, there's nothing wrong with cooking with coconut oil. That's great, but you can still cook with canola oils, and I use canola oil cooking spray. I think it really just depends on how much of it you're eating. Like, I wouldn't suggest for you to go out and just start eating bacon everywhere, right? That whole fad where everybody was eating bacon because they thought it was a health food, it turned out to be false and incorrect.
I think balance
Yes,
is probably
definitely.
the word.
Being able to moderate your saturated fat intake is really what's key. So just making sure that you're eating, like you said, a balanced diet. The fats that you should be consuming in each meal is about a thumb size of fat, regardless of what source. So some of the oils that we have in our house: olive, avocado, coconut, which I don't really cook with anymore. What else I cook? And canola oil spray. And then we eat. Right now I'm eating vegan butter, but we still eat butter, but we don't overconsume. I'm not slathering it on things. Yeah. So really and truly, I would probably suggest, diving into some medical journals about that. I'm not really the expert there.
Okay, next one is from, let's do Vern here.
Vern, I'm 70 and I'm losing hand strength. I find things like clipping my nails and pulling back inner seals on things such as yogurt difficult to do anymore. Any exercise suggestions?
Yeah.
Wow.
So pretty standard one is to get either a tennis ball or a stress ball, and to just, when you're sitting down watching TV, doing something else, maybe just kind of keep it by your chair, or, wherever, kind of your relaxation spot is. And 5-10 minutes a day, just squeeze on the ball, switching hands. And, I could give you more specific exercises, but high level, I would either get one of those little, like the stress balls that kind of like give when you squeeze it, or just a tennis ball, a racket ball, anything that kind of gives just a little bit as you squeeze it. And then as you get more advanced, you can do the individual digits and squeeze here, and then squeeze here as you go through. Make sure you have the individual finger strength. Let's go back to David there. Upper Bedford.
Hi, David. Oh, yeah. Hi. Hi, David. Hi, I think you guys are great. Can us weekend warriors look forward to some sports-specific workouts? My votes would be for golf and keelboat racing.
Not familiar with keelboat.
Never heard of keelboat.
But so majority of sports, especially for a weekend warrior, the recommendations aren't going to change much. So that's why we don't necessarily. That's why we don't necessarily like focus on like, oh, here's like your workouts that are like best for keelboat racing versus here's the best for golf. I mean, like golf, for instance. I mean, we're always doing twisting. We're always working on your hips. All the training we do is functional training. So, you don't necessarily, a lot of the times programs designed for like sports specific, okay, it's one thing if you're an elite athlete, but let's put those aside. For non-elite athletes or non-professional athletes, the programming, when they try to sell you like a golf specific workout or whatever specific workout, is really more of a marketing tool just for them to be like, this is for you. Oh man, I need this because I play golf. When really everybody just needs a balanced total body functional training. And so, I would say that there's really not anything different that you need to be doing outside of our normal programs, because everything's going to be included in it. Let's see, maybe this one.
Which one?
Andy there.
Oh, this might be another question for Kelly. I have creaky knees and I struggle for the first workout exercises that involve lunges. Can you suggest some knee exercises I could add into my warm-ups?
Well, creaky knees, that's the clinical term, I'm sure. Is it doesn't you just mean like making noises? When your joints pop or make noises, while it can be a little disheartening, it's not necessarily a bad thing. A lot of times, as we age, our cartilage and tendons kind of wear down, and meniscus wears down, and we get a little extra bone on bone. It can not sound that great, but it's not necessarily something that's going to cause you any harm. I don't think, if you want to do something extra for your knees, I mean, I would say really the best thing would be a stationary bike. So if you wanted to warm up your knees beforehand, jumping on a bike for 5 to 10 minutes beforehand, if you have access to one, it's going to be the best thing just to get the fluid going and to warm up your knees. D. Howard, keelboat racing are big boats, 30+ foot. Dinghies are the little ones. Okay, good to know. Now I know what keelboat racing is. Okay.
Fascinating.
Okay, so let's see, maybe Judy here.
I just completed the January Foundation exercise plan and it really made a difference for me. Awesome. My question is, what can I do to strengthen the back of my neck muscles when I do crunches or any floor exercise where I have to tuck my chin? I have a lot of tension in my neck.
So, thank you for the question, Judy. I would say that you're probably asking the wrong question, which is strength probably isn't the issue, but mobility is probably the issue. So for most people, in this sedentary life we're living from, all of our time spent sitting down, watching TV, at our computers, staring at our phones, staring down, driving, all of those things combined really put a lot of stress on our neck. And so, a lot of times we get tightness back in our sternocleidomastoids. So I would recommend you check out our neck stretching videos. All you have to do is just search HasFit neck stretching. It's like an 8-minute routine, and perform that 3 to 4 times per week, and you should start to see a difference in your neck mobility and in that pain and tightness that you're getting. Next one, Laura, is from Laura. Hi, Coach and Claudia. I was just wondering if you had any tips for eating after giving blood. Should I eat a little more to make up for the loss, or stay at my usual level?
I would say that you should, well, first, that is definitely out of our scope.
Yeah, so we're not necessarily, we don't know why you're giving blood or how frequently. There's some variables to that we're not privy to.
Correct. So my suggestion is that whenever you're giving blood, that you speak to the experts and the professionals that are taking your blood, and see what they recommend for you for the rest of the day. Generally, they have juices and cookies for you to eat after. But if you have any additional questions beyond that, I would refer you to them.
Okay, I think that is going to complete our January live Q&A. Thank you for joining us.
That was a good one.
Yeah, it was good. A lot of questions, a lot of engagement. We thank you for your questions. Thank you for just saying hello, hanging out with us, as always. That's the yawn of a mother with a newborn.
Yeah.
As always, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for your support. We could not do this without you.
Yep.
Until next time, I'm Coach Kozak.
I'm Claudia.
And we will see you at your next workout.